What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. This is your boy Narik Chase, and in this episode of Streamline Podcast, we are going to be talking about the Prototype series. Not only on my impressions and thoughts about Prototype 1 and Prototype 2, but just going down the list with the characters, the gameplay, and uh, and my thoughts and impressions on what I would like to see on Prototype 3, which is never going to be made. But I love coming up with these ideas for these videos, so I'm going to go ahead and just throw them all out to note, so I'm going to be a little bit more concise with this video as well. You have to forgive me, I broke my glasses at work, so I look crazy. No, not really. Yeah, I do look crazy. But anyways, thanks guys for joining me. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video. Now, Prototype came out in 2009, and it follows this superhuman guy named Alex Mercer, who ends up getting infected with this virus called the Blacklight virus that gives him shapeshifter abilities as well as other abilities such as super strength, speed, and the ability to consume other humans and other beings, basically. Uh, and the whole first game is him trying to figure out that's my phone. Figure out his past because he doesn't remember what happened. It's a great game. Then they came out in 2012 with a sequel, Prototype 2, which follows James Heller here as he seeks revenge on a now bad guy, supervillain Alex Mercer, and how he's uncovering Mercer's plot for the Blacklight virus as well as the world. Now, I've actually enjoyed both of these games. I think both of them had a lot to offer. The open world experiences were really good. The maneuverability of the characters and how versatile they were, not only with the movement but as well as their abilities, made combat really fun. Made transportation across the map really fun because you could run, you could jump, you could glide. There was just so much you can do. And excuse me. And hell, you can even drive different vehicles and stuff. I enjoyed the hijacking, especially the helicopters, and for those missions where you had to attack different buildings, or outposts, or something like that. Just stealing the helicopter was just it. And then I loved also the whole the mid-air battles and stuff. I thought that was always really fun as well. But I think both the games did a great job of establishing a story. Now, I know a lot of people did not like the second game, not only because of the story, but also the main character, Heller here, as well as what they did with Alex Mercer's character. Who happens to be one of my favorite video game characters, especially from the way he was presented and the story behind him in the first video game. So I've really enjoyed. Now, as far as my thoughts are on Part 2, now Part 2 does take some things from the first game and do it better, but they also take a step back on certain things, like when it. I'm gonna start calling myself Narik Chase and go say not Narik go to sleep, take a nap or something. But the story, basically, the reason why the thing about the second game is it's open world like the first game, because the first game is straight up the whole Manhattan is just access open to you, the map, and that's awesome. That's awesome. But in Prototype 2, it's more of segmented areas like Borderlands, like Dragon Age Inquisition. It's segmented like that. But the areas are big. They have a lot of great detail to them. Also, you have a pretty good twist with the abilities, too. You get a new ability, and you actually have this ability where you can kind of dual wield your powers. So you use two powers at once, which that was freaking awesome. Made for some awesome combat. But James Heller is an interesting character, and maybe if instead of it being Alex Mercer in the first game, it was him, it would be him. it would made a bit more difference. But a lot of people gravitate more to Alex Mercer's character than James. I like Alex because yes, he's a dark, kind of gritty character, but it's because he's trying to figure out. He doesn't remember who he is. He's trying to figure out what's been going on and why he doesn't remember and all of these events. Now Heller does have a good reason to be the way he is because in the game, and guys, spoilers, number spoilers, because they're just basically me talking about this game. But in the game, his family dies, and people are just all around him trying to manipulate him. Same thing with Alex. People are all in the game trying to manipulate him. But in this game, he's really pissed because Alex Mercer is responsible for his family's death. So he's out to get Alex Mercer. And I'm sorry, excuse me. And I think he's a bit more gruff. I wish he would have had a little bit more personality. Yes, your family's died, but you could show a little bit more to your personality just. But I don't know. I don't know. But I think because of that, that kind of took away from what any interesting qualities that the character has because the entire time he's like revenge, 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 revenge. But we already got that same almost revenge scheme going in the first game, so it was kind of repetitive. Even though they did make it a little bit more like personal, a little bit more relatable to players. So, but I do like James Heller. I just wish they would have did a little bit more something with his personality outside of just, and maybe even with the whole his family dying thing, because again, he's just kind of a flat compared to Alex Mercer. Like I said, if James Heller was the protagonist of the first game and Mercer was the protagonist of this game, maybe it would have turned out a bit different where James Heller's character would stand out a bit more and then Alex's character would be feeling lackluster. But then again, both of them kind of have this Alex is kind of, both of them is kind of like wanting to see what's going on. They both lost something and they're both basically on a revenge. They're both on like revenge stories. So I think that's kind of the problem with that. I really didn't have too much problem with the second game, but it does feel like the story just has it's like it's missing something. It has the emotional elements to it, which I think were better done in this one than in the first game. There are, I feel, more memorable characters because in the first game, really the only people I can think of off the top of my head was Cross, Elizabeth Green, which I really wish they'd have did more with her character, as well as Dana, which I really enjoyed her character. She was really likable. She was an awesome character. And did I say it was? No. Yeah, it was Dana, Elizabeth Green, Robert Cross, and Karen Parker. And Robert Cross is the Black Watch officer that's basically hunting Alex the entire damn game. And also there's Karen Parker, who is Alex's ex-girlfriend that tries to help him out, then ultimately betrays him. And there is this like colonel dude too that's over all the military operations in the game that he got. That's like his thing. And then in the second one, you got another one of those military officers that's over all of this. You got this scientist guy that's over like the experiments at Gentech, which manufactured the virus. So there's that. There's also this interesting woman named Sabrina Galloway, which I really wish they would have did something more with her character because she turns out to be one of those characters like you don't know where she's going, what her intentions are until the end of the game, which I think it was kind of sad what happened to her character because I feel like they could have did more with her character. But it's whatever. Also got this pastor named Luis Guerrera, and he was actually an interesting character. Like I like his character. He was like one of those characters that like if there is like a story that's like really gritty and it's really like downtrodden or something like that, he kind of alleviates it a little bit, kind of like Herschel Green did on The Walking Dead. So I really did enjoy his character. It's too bad what happened to him as well. And then of course there's Maya Heller, who is James Heller, who you end up finding out is actually still alive. Now the thing about her character is, I really wish. I think it also takes away from the story a bit too. Like we never really get to see the father and the daughter like interact like that, so it's like very hard to. Um, like we do see some of it, but not enough for it to be like okay, emotionally driving. Like I would have liked to seen a little bit of that Walking Dead where you have Lee Everett trying to protect Clementine. Like I would have liked to seen that. You can see more of that relationship build up between these two characters, but for whatever, yeah, I don't think they establish it enough. Like for us, now we care about Maya because she's a kid, yes, and we want Heller to get back with his daughter, but we don't actually see the relationship, so we're not as as invested as we should have been because we don't really get that time with it. But there is that. Now, like I said, I really did enjoy both of the games. I do feel like the first one was slightly a little bit better than the second one in terms of story, but as far as the gameplay is concerned, I will say that the refined mechanics are better in the second one. But if you really want a great experience of playing Prototype, check them both out. They're really good. Um, Now, the main factions in both of these games are pretty much it's pretty much factions in these games. In the first game, there is the military and the Black Watch crew versus the infected versus basically Alex Mercer. So there's your three groups. You got the military, you got the infected, and you got Alex. And with Alex's ability, yes, he is a one-man army, literally. And then in this sequel as well, there is basically the military once again. There are the infected who are basically controlled by Alex Mercer, who's now a bad guy, I guess you can say. And then you got Heller, who again ends up picking up the one-man army title. So there is that great gameplay on both sides of the fence. Now, in terms of Alex, again, I did do the whole Alex versus James Heller. Okay, so well, never mind. Go ahead and skip on to the next point that I have. Now, we've all been looking forward towards a third game. Now, the original two games were developed and produced by Radical Entertainment Studio, which closed. So, Activision does have the rights, I believe, to Prototype. And the question that everybody and their mama wants to know is why the hell these assholes ain't made no Prototype 3 yet. There have been rumors. I got a little something on. There have been rumors and rumors and rumors about a possible Prototype 3 coming out. There's been so much speculation on YouTube and everything, but we still have not got the damn game. Now, my thing is, look, I love the Prototype games, and I definitely, I really want them to go ahead and do this Prototype 3, but I wish that they would have somebody come out and address it. Maybe they have. I haven't seen anything on it. But I want somebody to come out on YouTube that represents Activision or whoever has the rights to the game and be like, look, we're not going to make this damn game. Or, hey, we are thinking about making this game, but we need to take some time to figure out how we're going to do this. Or who we're going to give the rights to so they can develop it. So I want to see somebody just come out because this is like one of those game titles like, yeah, it's like common sense that this should have been made, kind of like Kingdom Hearts 3. It's like this game should have been made by now. Ultimate Alliance 3 game should have been made by now. X-Men Legends 3 game should have been made by now. It's like, where is the hell is the damn games? Come on. So Activision or whoever has the rights, y'all need to get on it. Now, a question is for Prototype 3 that I've been wanting to bring up is, should it be a continuation or should it be a reboot? I personally think they should go the Resident Evil way and keep it as a continuation because any of these infections can happen anywhere. Anybody can get infected and the story could pick up after them just then. I think they should do that. Rebooting it would not be good in my opinion. Look, this is not Infamous, okay? Not that Infamous Second Son was a reboot, which I don't know because I haven't played Infamous Second Son yet. I still haven't beat the first game. But don't reboot it. Every time something doesn't seem like you don't want to go the right way, your way in one game, you act like you can't just improve that in the next game in the next installment of that story instead of having to reboot it. No, keep it as a continuation. A reboot, you can reboot the game after you make your third game, but keep the story going. You have a good story. You have a great setting. You have great characters. There's already been introduced into it. You do have enough open space to make a continuation for a third game. Not only that, but also you have the comic book series too. So you do have enough wiggle room to make a third installment. Um, now, should the third game feature James Heller and should Alex Mercer make a return? Me personally, like I said, I like Mercer more, but even though I do like Heller, my thing is if they're going to bring there's only a very few select ways you can bring Mercer back after he was killed in the second game, but this is the way I think they should do this. At the end of the second game, Heller ends up killing and absorbing Mercer. So basically, the only way I should, basically, the only way I could say he could get brought back is like since he got absorbed by Heller, then he's still actually alive. And do like what Elizabeth Green did when she got injected with that virus, and when the virus had she spit it up and it became his own entity. They should kind of do the same thing with Mercer if they're going to bring his character back. Have him not actually been fully killed when Heller end up absorbing him. They should put it to where he actually still somewhat survived. Like there's like a piece of his conscience still there, and he does separate. Like that will actually make more of an interesting point. Also, there's been speculation that I read that they said that was not actually Mercer, it was someone a clone, because they do have the ability to shapeshift and stuff like that. So they were saying it's potentially a doppelganger just walking around doing stupid shit. And it wasn't him. But I personally would like it. I personally would say, hey, yeah, Alex Mercer, basically do like Majin Buu from Dragon Ball Z, where Majin Buu actually spit up Fat Buu. So you know what I mean. Even though it's Zordon, I want them to do that. But if not, if they're gonna continue with James Heller, I don't want it to actually focus on James Heller's character. I would like to see his character play a supporting role while they introduce a new character. That's my thoughts on that. The location, at this point, I don't want it to be Manhattan, but it's a very select few cities that are on isolated that I could think of right off the bat. They're like isolated like that. So. But you can pick any other city. There are a ton of other cities they can pick from. And the next game I want it to be more choice and consequence based with like the factions and stuff. I think you should be able to work with the Blacklight and be on their side, or you can work with the infected, be on their side, or you can just be a loner again, and stop making the both sides be so just black and white. Like I wanted to see like a little bit of gray. There are benefits to your character if you join the infected, like you possibly control infected or something like that. There are benefits with the Black Watch, like you possibly call in strike teams and stuff like that. I think that would make for a very interesting dynamic, and in certain you can get access to certain abilities if you join those factions. Also, another thing I would like to see is if you can't focus on one character, bring two characters into it. And have each one have different fighting techniques, but also have their own branching skill trees. I think that'd be an awesome ass idea as well. And also, I want to see new abilities, but that kind of goes with the whole character. Which character? If you have two characters, they have two different abilities. But if you have one character, yes, I would like to see the traditional prototype abilities, but I want to see some new ones as well. So those are just a few thoughts that I had about the whole Prototype series, as well as Prototype 3. Activision, or whoever owns the rights, get it in gear. at least get on record and say, hey, we have the rights. We don't know what we're going to do yet. Hey, we got the rights. We haven't figured out who's going to develop this game. Hey, we got the rights. We're not doing anything with it. Go ahead and just let everybody know. And guys, in the comment section below, let me know what your thoughts here are on the prototype series, as well as potential sequel for a third installment. Be sure to hit that like, share, subscribe, and that notification button to get the best of what we got on this channel. And remember, guys, Thursdays we do put up videos. We're going to try to sprinkle it throughout the week, but Thursday, stay tuned because we do put out videos. Till next video, guys. Catch you later.